How can the Liberal Party survive when only last week the same man who apparently is going to get there unopposed was virtually accusing Perrottet of being a dunce and stupid in relation to the removal of Patinos, and they were wanting Ayres to go and so on. And the same man is not saying, I can't have a bloke this disloyal to the Liberal Party supporting me. No. Get rid of Elliott and promote Keane. I mean, the weight's obviously been put on you to pull out. And Anthony Roberts, a shout out to you. If you are supporting Keane, the public won't forgive you either. I mean, the weights have been put on this bloke to pull out. There's no other way of talking about it. David Elliott, the reason for this deputy leadership vacancy is a mystery to many. Now, the Premier seems to have folded in the face of a few headlines, and Ayres went, according to the Premier, because parts of a draft report into the Barilaro matter, and I quote, raise a question as to whether Mr Ayres has complied with the New South Wales Ministerial Code of Conduct. David Elliott, surely before Ayres lost his job, shouldn't that question have been answered? We still don't know whether he's breached the Code of Conduct. I mean, the Premier's final paragraph of the announcement of Ayres' departure said, quote, a further review will therefore be undertaken to determine if Mr Ayres has complied with the code. So the bloke loses his job, but we still don't know whether he complied with the code. Your thoughts?
Well, listen, Alan, I'm going to allow the parliamentary inquiry, which obviously sat this afternoon and will sit again on Friday. I'm going to allow that to go through. I didn't make a judgment call on Stuart Ayres because I hadn't read the head report. But can I say, I have high hopes that Stuart will return to the ministry. I have high hopes that the people of Penrith re-elect him, and I have high hopes that Stuart will one day lead the Parliamentary Liberal Party. I think that Stuart, I've just taken over this afternoon his responsibilities as the Minister for Western Sydney, and I'm going to be a very good custodian of that because I know when he's back in Cabinet, it is a job that he will want, and I'll be more than happy to hand it back to him. Him and I are both very, very passionate Westies. We both love everything about Western Sydney, but I've got to say, in all my time in politics, my 36 years in politics, I'm struggling to find a better politician than Stuart Ayres.
I agree with that entirely. And I've had a lot to do with him in a lot of capacities. He is always on top of detail, and I've said on this program, I've found him unchallengeably honest. But do you understand that at this moment, there are people chucking boots and glasses and everything at the TV set because they are infuriated that Keane is getting a leg up, unopposed, and the Premier is doing nothing about it?
Well, yeah, I think, I think there probably will be people that have had, I mean, you've just read a couple of comments that have been published today, and that's why I've said today as well that I'm going to keep him accountable as Deputy Leader. And if anybody thinks that this is a victory for the moderates over the Conservatives in the broad church known as the Liberal Party, well, think again, because I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I got promoted today. I took a new responsibility, so I got my third portfolio today. I passionately believe in the Conservative side of politics.
But see, because you do, you've let people down by succumbing to these people. Why didn't you let people vote against you and then the electorate would say, well, hang on, if they've given Elliott 2 votes, this is a party that doesn't deserve to govern?
Well, that message is out there, Alan.
Is.
I mean, because unfortunately for me, the right wing of the party has decided to vote with the left wing of the party, and the centre right of the party gets left out. But and that's just modern politics. That's what happens.
Yeah, but what happens